Welcome to United Way at Work, a program designed to keep you informed about what your local United Way is doing to help your friends and neighbors in the Rutland community. Today we're going to be talking about the really big show 3, and we have guests with us today. We have Sally Ryan from Vermont National Bank. Welcome, Sally.
Hi, Chuck.
Michael J. Valentine from Channel 15, and Mary Byrne. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you.
Sally is event coordinator, chairman of the event. How did the event go this year?
Oh, it was a fantastic event this year, as usual. We had huge success.
Huge success.
Really good show.
As MC, how was it different from the previous years?
It gets easier as it goes along. The fears
Yes.
kind of subside a little bit because we were dealing with the unknown. And the first time, the second time, you don't know if it's going to be a success again. But the third time, we felt more comfortable with it, and we had a wider scope of talent. And I think it went extremely well.
As Director of Talent, Mary, what are your thoughts on the event?
I thought the talent for the show, I thought was exceptional this year. I hate to say better than last year because last year also was good, but I felt that it was a better show overall. And I think next year, I can't wait.
You can't wait until next year. We're going to go on to that here soon.
Yeah.
Talking about the talent, how was the talent different this year? What kind of acts were different that you might not have had in the past years?
We've had some different acts this year. We had some a cappella singers. Some young gentlemen did a great job. We've had different types of dance.
We still had schools involved and a lot of students, but we had more adults this year.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think that made a difference.
Made a difference.
Yeah. And again, this year we had 2 stand-up comedians. We had a fiddle player, and we had piano players and young singers and dancers, and it was a wonderful, wonderful show.
I saw the show. It was phenomenal. I couldn't believe the amount of talent, and it's probably one of the neatest things you'll find in the area if you're looking to see a talent
surprising.
presentation.
Talent.
Well, it's
Yes.
unique, we don't find things like that here.
Plus, it goes to a wonderful cause.
Yes,
course.
it does.
United Way of Rutland County. We'll get into that after,
A
too.
little
That'll
bit
be
later, yes.
later on in the show here. What do you feel? All of you have different roles. Sally, you're kind of the chairman of the event. You put the thing together. And Mike is MC, and Mary is the director of talent. All of you feel different things probably prior to the show, the curtain opening. Could you step back right in the moment right before the curtain opens and tell us how you feel?
Well, right before the curtain opens, we just want to make sure that the auditorium is going to be full, that people are there, that I'm sure that all the contestants are there and everything, but it's just just before that curtain opens up, it's kind of nervous because the employees from Vermont National Bank do open it too, so we're just kind of waiting for that moment. It's like, is that curtain ever going to open? And then all of a sudden, we're there. And it's open up, and you look out and you see all those people out there. What a feeling. They're all there just cheering everybody on and having a great time. It sure does. It sure does.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, there's nothing like a house full of people. It's very exciting. I don't worry about the attendance and that end of it, and I don't have to worry about concession. And I have the technical end. Fortunately, I had a guy by the name of Brian Mayhew that helped me out with audio, and does a wonderful job. And then when you have somebody like that, you don't have to worry too much about sound and technical stuff. And we had a lighting person from the school, Carl Thompson, did a wonderful job, so I didn't have to worry about that at all. But I have to worry about the technical stuff and losing my notes and losing track of what's coming up next. There's a lot to keep in your mind. And then, of course, the VNB people get me involved in a dance just before.
We talked him into it this year.
Did that really tire you out?
You're the MC and you're out there dancing, and finally you're done. It's like,
That's what we're all saying, and Michael's stepping out there to face all these people.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
How does it differ from the tape? I mean, you've done some things where you've done taped movies and that kind of thing. How does it differ when you face a live audience?
There's nothing like it. You never know what's going to happen, and quite often it does. and that's the exciting part of it. That's what gets the adrenaline going, for me anyway. Like a dance recital.
That's right. It's similar.
Yeah, it really is.
What I noticed too this year, not this year, but each year, the contestants, I try to have 3 acts ready to go on, and the people that are waiting to go on, they cheer the people who are going on, and when they come off, they applaud. They support them. Each act seems to help the other one because they're all very anxious for everybody to do well.
That's so true. And Channel 15's Tom Leipold has been involved in all 3, and he says the same thing. As they're waiting off stage to go on, everybody's like so supportive. And,
very much so.
And even after, all you did a wonderful job, and it's just a feeling. It's not a feeling of competition, I don't think, with the talent. It's more of camaraderie. They're there really to benefit the United Way, and I don't think they think too much about the contest itself.
I think they feel that they're there to entertain. And really, that is the main thing, that we want them to feel, that they are there to entertain and to enjoy it, not to feel, well, I've got to go out and win. Because they are, as Michael has said before, they are winners. They made it through the audition, so everybody, to me, I feel, is a winner.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't want this lady's job, getting everybody lined up
Oh,
to get
she's
on stage, and
such
you have
a
to,
good job.
I mean, there's always somebody somewhere else they're not
Yeah.
supposed to be, and I wouldn't want Sally's job, because she, somebody has to keep everything together with the program and the concession and all the details, and Sally takes care of that and does a fantastic job.
I'm very fortunate to have an awful lot of help.
Yeah, Vermont National Bank employees are amazing.
Oh, they are.
I mean,
They're
just
wonderful.
get right into this, and
Yes.
they just participate so
Yes,
much.
they did.
And they did a great job on the dance this year, too.
They did.
Yes.
Thanks to Mary
You know,
Thanks to Mary Byrne.
The idea
yes.
that they're all working, they have families, and yet they come back and do the practice. And they do it with enthusiasm.
Yes.
It isn't just come, well, I've
It was a
got to
lot of
do
fun.
this. They come because they really look like they're having a good time. And I think that showed up the night of the performance.
I think
That's
so.
true.
Yeah.
We all really had a great time.
Their
Right.
enthusiasm seems to grow each year.
Yes, yeah. Very open this year to try new things, new steps, a new movement. Just went right ahead and did it. So it was a lot of fun for me, too.
It was a lot of fun for all of us.
And as you know, it's an
Appreciate all the help.
oldies theme this year, which, in case somebody didn't see it, I can't imagine that.
I don't know how they could have missed it.
We had it on Channel 15 42 times. That's only because Tom Lapole was involved.
Thank goodness we got Tom in the show.
So for next year, you might want to cue in on that,
That's
get
for
Tom
sure.
on show. Mary, now some of the acts said that they really got excited about seeing other acts. How did you said you tried to prepare 3 different groups to go on stage. Was that difficult, knowing that they wanted to see the other performers?
Well, only if the act was a group act coming off stage, well, then it was kind of crowded. But other than that, no, there wasn't. And I like to have 3 there so that I can keep the show going. And so many times I did have to go out into the hallway to get the next act, or I had to go up towards the where the audience was, which I told them they couldn't do that, but who pays attention, right? Well, it's because they're so anxious to see the show
It's so
themselves.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so much planning that goes into Mary Byrne's job, too. And she has to keep it flowing. It's very important, otherwise you can lose an audience.
Yes.
And we started off with the upbeat dance from VNB, and then you scheduled another upbeat, and then somebody who's a little mellower, and
Right.
there's a science to it. There really
Yeah.
is, and Mary does.
Well, I didn't want to come in with a dance number, so I decided it had to be a singer, and we had this little girl, Lorianne Gevry, is that her name, with a big voice, and I thought, well, maybe that will take care of the opening number, and I think it did.
Yeah, me and my Bobby McGee, she sang.
Yeah.
Janis
Yes,
Joplin,
she
is that?
Yes,
Yes.
in
Janis
there?
Joplin.
That was wonderful. All the
Yeah,
acts were
wasn't it?
wonderful, but that was a really good
Everything was
kickoff.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did a good
Yes.
job.
Her inflection changed so much on the song. It was
Yeah.
really interesting song. How'd you feel at the end of the show? And when the curtain goes down, you know you're done, and what are your thoughts right after the show?
We did it. Everybody had a wonderful time, and that's what we really wanted to happen. And it was a success again. And of course, our real main goal was to raise money for United Way, and also for everybody in the community to have a good time and have a good night out for the family and everything. And we knew it was a success. We knew again that it was just everybody had a great time.
I had a great
Yeah.
time.
It's not like a sigh of relief, and the adrenaline is going throughout the whole show. And when it's done, it's like, yes. Nothing major went wrong. But little things are expected, and it's just you feel wonderful, and you do feel that sense of accomplishment. It's a good feeling.
What do you think, Mary? How'd you feel?
Well, I really feel the same as Michael. I thought, as I said, I thought the show was wonderful, so I felt we really did do a good job with entertaining our audience. And they responded very much to the
very
numbers,
much.
very much. They were very responsive to all the entertainment. Didn't matter if it was singing or dancing or whatever. It was so varied, it had to please everyone, I would think. Everybody had something in that show that they must have liked.
That's right. And there's always a few acts that get a little bit more applause or some cheers. But
Yes.
there were like a half a dozen or more that seemed to really draw the
Right.
Really good.
cheers and applause.
I couldn't imagine being a judge.
I
No, I couldn't
That's
either.
gotta be the worst job of the night.
It's gotta be.
because, the acts are they are so
Yeah.
different, and they're so talented in their various aspects.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
subjective,
We're
you know.
very
it's-
fortunate to have some good judges, though, that
Yeah.
are willing to do this.
To do that.
Right.
Let's talk about the talent, Really Big Show 3. What special memories will you hold from this year's event?
Well, I'm an oldies fan, so there was two groups that both performed oldies, and I thought they were fantastic. You know, Mike Treat, Harmony, and they did acapella. They did great, and Jessica Bride, and she did Johnny Angel, and then of course that's why I'm not a judge, because I have my real favorites, and they were very good. They were oldies.
I would hesitate to single out any individual acts, except of course Tom Leipold. There's some wonderful, wonderful talent. Andrew Sutherland, the overall winner, I think was deserving of that. Just
He was
deserving.
excellent.
extremely, he's a genius on the piano. He composes his own stuff and plays it, and it's just, I think overall he was probably deserving of it.
Yes, very deserving of that.
Mary?
Well, as you say, I liked everybody really, but some that stand out, Lee Perry and his trio, I did enjoy. And the Marble Valley Players, because I thought they put so much into it by the costuming. You know, everybody was dressed differently. And Brandon Taff, I enjoyed, the Irish violinist. And I have to also mention Mary Beth Hare. She has, I thought, such a clear, lovely voice.
Yeah, and the piano player Hannah King.
Yes, Hannah Ken.
Yes, Hannah Ken.
She
And
was
Mike
awesome.
Treat harmony as.
So, see, it's
You
there's so
could go
much.
on, yeah, by the time you're done,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
relay off all
yeah,
20 of them.
right.
Really,
And
you
you
could
forget
really go to
Right,
each
let's
one.
do
and-
each one.
And they all do more than that
Right.
for the community too. Mary Beth is going to volunteer for the United Way as part of a community service for her school.
Oh,
so we're happy to get her involved. I told her, I
Good.
said, maybe we can get you singing to one of the United Way groups somewhere along the way. So,
Wonderful.
yeah. What gets you motivated for next year? Really Big Show 4. Besides
Just
the
watching that
success.
tape again. We actually, we had a staff meeting the other day, and we showed the tape for the staff and everything, and everybody's like, wow, that was so much fun, you know, how are we gonna get started for next year, and all the memories come back. And we do that time to time through the year, we just kinda put in the tape and just take a look at it. And
The twisting your arm to be chairman, is that a difficult task? Or is this something that you look
I
forward to?
enjoy this so much, I really do, so. And actually, it's, you know, that, I'm supposedly the chairman, but really everybody puts so much into this that I can't really say that, you know, I can't take credit for it. So it's all the employees and the community too, with help like, from people like Michael and Mary. This would never happen without them. Brian and Carl, you know, people that just come out and are willing to help us. It's amazing.
Well, you know that if I stepped aside, somebody else would be right there and it would go on. But I'm always up for a show.
You're making me nervous. I was so afraid you were going to
Sally's
say,
scared.
don't do that to me.
I enjoy it so much. I really, truly do, despite all the concerns and the work. And it's just a lot of fun when it happens finally. And yeah, I already look forward to number 4.
Number 4. Mary, you've been doing this, I think the last show we did prior to October 17th, you had said this is your 39th year
Oh, of my dancing.
of your dancing
Not,
now, of doing things like that. How do you get motivated to come back and do it again?
It's just a great deal of fun, and I like the people that I'm working with, and so it's no problem except at 8 o'clock in the morning. But other than that, it's easy. I enjoy
Yeah,
that.
we have to talk about those 8 o'clock meetings.
We did have some that were 4:30 that some people missed.
Okay, I'll
We're
be
going
quiet.
to talk about this after the United
It's
Way
time to
workshop.
run the tape.
Yeah, that might be a good
We're
idea.
talking on break. Is now a good time to break and show
Now's a
some
good
clips
time
from
to
last
break.
year?
I think so.
I think
Let's
so.
go ahead and break now and show some of the clips from the Really Big Show 3. Do you want to set up any of the acts at all?
I think they're in order. I think you have the order. It's
think
the
I do.
Otter Valley students with Eileen Blackman as choreographer, and I think it's Mary Byrne School of Dance with Erica Lampert as the choreographer. And then we have Dick Del Bianco, the other stand-up comedian, and Brandy Brown, a lyrical gymnast, Baird Barsoomian, who wrote his own song and played on the guitar, and then again Andrew Sutherland, the overall winner.
Fantastic. We'll go to the clip now, and we'll join you in about 7 minutes and talk to the guests.
The beautiful life is always dancing. A deadly kiss from a temptress can serve to make a truly wayward man. She's not a talker, her teeth are fixed, but she's a looker that lives for kicks. A nightmare straight from an auto dicks. Everybody's swinging with the brown derby chicks.
How do you do? You're Mrs. Mary Byrne, is that right? And I see right here you're a retired dance instructor, and you live in Valentine. Very good, very good. Mrs. Byrne, who was your instructor for your first lesson? Oh, here it is right here, Mr. Adams. Let me just read a little bit and get familiar with the case here. Oh my God. Mrs. Byrne, how fast were you going when Mr. Adams jumped from the car? 75, is that right? And where was that? In your driveway. How far had he gotten in the lesson, Mrs. Byrne? Backing out. I see. You were backing out at 75, and that's when he jumped.
And I was Tarzan, I'd follow you up the vine every time. I'd have my eyes glued like they were tattooed on whatever might come up behind. I like looking at you, I like the view, I like what I see, and I think that's how you're looking at me. If you was Lois and I was Superman, I'd use my X-ray eyes all the time. I wouldn't hide it or be no Clark try to look inside your mind.
What a phenomenal show. Mary, Dick Del Bianco seems to be picking on your driving. Can you tell us a little about your driving and why Dick would have you as a subject of his comedy routine? Yes.
I really don't know because I'm an excellent driver, so I don't know why he did pick on me.
That took you by surprise, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
I'd like to leave here a few minutes before you do, if it's okay. Just 'cause I'm a little nervous about it.
You'll
I'd
never
like to
get out
stay.
of the yard before me.
Never get out. Who are you?
Backwards, too.
Backwards, too. This year's crowd, full house this year?
Yes, yes, oh, yes.
How many people come to the really big show?
Well, we figured it holds around 500 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it must be.
And
That many people
before we
there.
go on, I'd like to thank Ernie Sewell for taping the event.
Yes.
And letting us get it on
Yes,
Channel
thank you.
15. And Ernie Sewell does a lot for Channel 15, and I'd like to thank him.
Excellent. Do you ever see a really big show, 4, 5, 6, 7, going to something like the Paramount? It seats
I think we'll have
I
850.
think we'll have to.
Yeah.
Keeps
Yeah.
growing, definitely.
that's-
Does that excite you?
Oh, very much so, very much so. That's been
Yeah.
so long in the making, and it's really, it looks like it's gonna get there within the
It-
next
it
I
year.
think so. I think it will.
Yeah, so we're all saying, really big show 5.
Yeah, I was with Marble Valley Players, and we did The Wizard of Oz in the Paramount, and we had to put up emergency lighting and clean it up, and this was quite a few years ago, and it was to benefit the Paramount Center. So we were actually on that stage, and it's just a phenomenal feeling. You know, that's a beautiful house, beautiful theater.
Can't wait to get back there, can you?
And the stage is quite large, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I at one time was trying to have a recital there, but they didn't have everything that, would help out lighting and so forth. And seats at that time, there were no seats in
seats
it
in there.
either. But the stage was great. I could just see
The
dancing.
acoustics are
Yes,
fantastic.
yeah.
It's a really nice
Wow.
place.
Is there a possibility of expanding the number? Because right now you have 20 acts. Is there a possibility of expanding the show and
Well,
We hadn't really thought, the length of time is just about right, too.
Yeah.
What's it, 2
Yeah,
hours?
it's a little over 2 hours, 2.5
yeah,
hours
and
probably.
with that many people, you have to take quite a lengthy intermission,
Right,
so
Right.
right.
probably
So,
keep it right about
right
there.
around
The
there.
only way I can see expanding that, and Sally says not until she retires, is if you had enough people to audition, which we're getting more each year, and that you could afford to put on a separate show, say a second night, because you would draw a different audience into it because of the people in the show, I think. And that might be one way of doing it.
Well, Mary, a few more years to retire.
You guys can talk about that after the
That's
show,
right.
too.
We're gonna have a
Really
long
big show,
lunch.
14 or something.
Speaking of the people, how far do people come to be a part of the show? I mean, this is not.
Shoreham?
Shoreham was the furthest, and
I think so.
a lot of the schools from the outlying areas were represented, Mill River, Otter
Yeah.
Valley, Proctor. We had people from all over Rutland County, so.
A large group
Large
of
group.
talent.
Yeah,
Group.
and as you can see by the video, it's the Otter Valley students, the girls and guys up there just having fun. They were wonderful,
That's what
wonderful.
it's all about. Everybody just has so much fun.
Yeah, Dick Del Bianco, everybody knows Dick Del Bianco, and, he was up there and had fun, and of course, you got to see Andrew Sutherland, and he's going on to
Yes,
music school,
won't
so
be
he won't
back
return
next
next year,
year.
but he's going places.
Yeah. Well, it
We
gives
can
an
say,
opportunity
we
for...
remember when.
Remember when? You can probably say that already, because you've seen some tremendous talent the last 3 years.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, it's wonderful to see it grow. Some of the same people have been in 1, 2, and 3. And I don't know about you guys, but
they
I've seen
really-
them
yes.
just grow
Yes.
as performers.
How do you get sponsors involved? How many? First of all, this is a larger than VNB. VNB is a tremendous
That's
part of this.
correct,
But
right.
how do you get sponsors involved in this?
Rutland community is incredible. We just go out and say, you know, we're trying to put on a talent show. We're looking for donations for prizes for the contestants. What do you want? It's great. Nobody ever turns us
Sally
down.
delegates.
I open a few doors myself too. My poor customers when they walk through the door.
It's amazing. Their doors are always open.
They are.
They're just amazing.
It just gives you such a wonderful feeling for living here in Rutland.
It's a very generous community. I can
Yes,
speak for United
very
Way on
much.
that behalf.
Yes.
Can people still get a videotape of the show? And if so, how do they go about doing
Of course,
Of course they can.
that? Of course they can.
I'd probably contact Vermont National
Vermont
Bank.
National Bank.
Or they
that's
can
one.
call
I
here.
actually just sold one this week.
And
So,
the price is
$10.
$10. A well worth
Yes.
cost for the
Absolutely.
entertainment value on there.
Absolutely.
Just the MC alone, that's going to be worth what, 5 or 6? You're kicking the rest of the talent your way.
Despite the MC, it's still worth it.
Seeing him dancing and everything, it's worth it.
The United Way of Rutland County is the beneficiary of this event, and we should get to that.
This is what you've
This
been
is what
waiting for.
This is what we've been waiting
This is
for.
what
I've
you've
been
been
sitting
waiting
here.
for.
Well, we're right in the middle of our campaign season, and we appreciate definitely all the support. It's been a very generous community, and maybe you'd like to share with us how the Really Big Show did from a financial perspective, and what that's going to mean to the folks of Rutland
Great.
County.
Well, we have.
I like this part.
You like this part here. This part here. Well, we did a little bit better than last year, and on behalf of all of us, I'd like to present this check to you.
Great, fantastic. $3,170 from Vermont National Bank and the Really Big Show. Thank you very much.
You're
We
very
appreciate
welcome.
that. I won't put it in my pocket. I'll put it right here, and we'll make sure we add that to our campaign this year. As you know, we're trying to raise $545,000, and that's a great way to
Great.
push us there.
Great.
So, any last thoughts on the Really Big Show 3? Anticipation for the Really Big Show 4?
Start practicing now.
Start practicing now.
Anybody out there that's interested in next year?
How many do you anticipate will try out next year?
It's hard to say. It's been growing every year, and it gets more difficult every year to.
It's getting up around 40, and I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised to see it go higher than that.
Because now you have 2 days of auditions for the.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're more chaotic than the show.
Yeah, the auditions are really. That's really the.
I
A lot more. I think it's a lot more stress on the contestants. than
Yes,
anything.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. People
Yeah.
don't like to audition, and that's probably the fear of being rejected, I guess. But it's the enthusiasm is growing, and I really do look forward to number 4.
Great. What kind of acts would you like to see, Mary? Any changes in the structure or different types of acts you'd like to?
No, I think it's, what we have is good. Of course, you're always looking for someone who might be a little more unique or have an original idea of presenting whatever music or, all I can think about is that fellow with the computers that year. I keep going back to that.
Oh, yeah.
Although I don't know if it's conducive for an audience to watch that, you know.
Yeah.
What do you
He
think?
created music on a
Create-
computer,
ah.
and it was very unique.
Yeah. it was very
I was surprised he
different.
didn't make it in. You know, you're always surprised, during the auditions, you see some outstanding talent, and for one reason or another, they don't make it, and you think, I wonder why, but
Next year.
I thought too that there's so much drama in the city, the drama clubs from the high school or the schools around. Why not have an act or a reading
yeah,
or
or a monologue,
Yeah,
that type of thing.
because
I would love to see that.
there's so many. They're always putting on plays. MSJ, Rutland, Mill River especially.
Right.
Well,
So I'd like to see a lot more people start thinking about this.
I look forward to the Really Big Show 4. I know all of you are going to be a part of it, it sounds like. On behalf of the United Way, once again, thank you for your outstanding contribution. Sally, thanks for joining us. Michael, thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
Mary,
Chuck.
thank you for joining us. And we'll look forward to seeing you again very soon for next year's show.
Very soon for next year's show. We're starting already.
Starting already. So if you're looking for a videotape or you're looking to get involved in next year's show, you can contact Sally at Vermont National Bank at
747-5000.
747-5000. Thank you for joining us for another episode of United Way at Work.